Inspirational Creatives, episode 270.
No matter which way you slice it, there's always work to do. The hardest thing a person can do is to look in the mirror, be honest, and be willing to do the work.
Welcome to Inspirational Creatives. I'm your host, Rob Lawrence. Join me every Friday as I chat with successful artists, producers, and creative entrepreneurs who share powerful stories and strategies. They can help you to create the life that you want. Listen each week as these inspirational creatives show you how to take your creativity to the next level. You'll learn how to create a sustainable business that inspires others and gives you the financial freedom and lifestyle that you want. Thanks for listening. Make sure you sign up at inspirationalcreatives.com to get free exclusive bonus material. And now, on with the show. Rob here, and welcome to another short action episode on Inspirational Creatives. Today, in the next few minutes, we're going to explore why creatives, like you and I, get stuck. Now, I know you're committed to your own success. You wouldn't be listening to this episode if you were not. However, I also know that you have that niggling feeling that you could be working smarter, not necessarily harder, and that little voice in your head that you could be getting better results if you just knew what to do. Well, I'm hoping that in this short action episode, you'll find out what to do. Something we all experience at times as creatives is that we find ourselves stuck. I know it's a huge problem for many ambitious creatives like you and me, but often we can overcome our own blocks with some self-awareness. So I want to share with you today some of Peter Sage's wisdom, a coach and expert that I interviewed in episode 269, hoping that I can help you to raise your self-awareness and take your creativity and life to the next level. So in episode 269, Peter revealed to me that no matter what stage we're at in our creative game, there's always work to do, and one of our biggest challenges is distraction. So here's Peter sharing with us what he had to say about what it takes to get unstuck and to get going again with our greatest aims and projects.
No matter which way you slice it, there's always work to do. And the hardest thing a person can do, in my experience, a human being, is to look in the mirror, be honest, and be willing to do the work. We are trained as experts today in the art of distraction. And when it comes to distracting ourselves away from our own personal growth, that's why everybody's an expert at something that everybody else should be doing. Yeah, because it stops them looking in the mirror. And so having the self-honesty and the willingness to surrender fear, to put down as much of the ego as you can and be open to being vulnerable and authentic is the starting point. And that's not easy. Most people in their teenage 20s can't do that because, in all fairness, they're not really designed for it. They've still got to bang their head on the pavement a few times in order to learn how to tie their shoelaces. That's just part of the feedback system. Nobody cooks a perfect pizza from day one.
Throughout my chat in episode 269 with Peter, there were a number of underlying themes, including surrendering our ego and also facing up to doing the real work that we know matters. Peter suggests that what we need to do is to be honest with ourselves about what we really want and what we really want to achieve, and consequently what we need to let go of to get there.
One of the first things one needs to do, Rob, is to peel back the onion a little more because it's not about a lot of the time the surface level of activity. If somebody's not taking action, it's probably not because they're unintelligent enough to realize that they should be taking more action. It's probably because there's an unconscious fear there, or a conscious fear they're not willing to include or surrender or deal with, or process. So a lot of the time, it's virtually all of the time, it all comes back to some level of fear. Some people fear success. Some people saw their parents do well, and then all their neighbors started resenting them, and there's an unconscious connection there that says, oh well, if I make more money, I'll lose all my friends. And that happened to me when I bought my Ferrari. I thought my friends would be happy, and I learned a big lesson. So if you understand that a lot of the time the inaction part is just a symptom of something that is blocking that. It's very rare, especially in today's ubiquitous level of information, that it's down to a lack of understanding what to do next. The information's out there. Why we don't apply it is usually the biggest issue, and that comes down to looking at our own unresolved issues of fear, self-sabotage, procrastination. Why is that?
Peter suggests that the key to taking action with our biggest aims as creatives is surrender. It's often fear that's in our way. Not just the fear of failure or looking like a fool in front of our friends or those that we respect, or even losing our friends, but sometimes it's a fear of success that's stopping us. We first explored fear of success in this podcast when I had the opportunity to chat with writer and digital nomad Amanda Turner in episode 179. Jump to 16 minutes in that episode if you want to hear more about our discussion around that. According to Peter, getting unstuck and on with our biggest aims and vision is all about looking at our own unresolved issues. What we're talking about here is fear, self-sabotage and procrastination. What Stephen Pressfield in his book War of Art talks about as resistance.
What's your outcome? What's your why? Why are you doing this? And then who do you need to become in order to be the person that would execute that? What have you got to let go of? What other beliefs do you have to change? What current aspects of reality do not support you that were supporting you up to this point that you've got to shed, that you're also going to face fears with? That kind of stuff.
What sort of person, who do you need to become to achieve your greatest aims? What do you need to let go of to get there? Peter suggests that we need to peel back the layers of the onion and get clear on, or remind ourselves of our greatest aims and our why. Why we are doing what we do. What is it that we want? What do you want? And by the way, that's a really hard question to answer. And what outcomes do you want? What are you aiming for? Peter reminds us that what served us previously with previous aims, goals and desires may not be set up to serve us now and going forward. This reminds me of the wisdom that to change our results, we need to change our lives, and that begins with changing our thinking. Raising our self-awareness can get us some way there. And conversely, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So the takeaway from this episode, from me to you, is to get focused, to get clear on what you want, and then start looking at what you need to let go of, what you need to surrender to get moving forward. The big question you could ask right now in this moment is, what's in my way right now, and what can I do to move away from it? Remember, you'll need to be brutally honest with yourself, and if you're experiencing fear, you'll need to take action in spite of that fear, whilst avoiding resistance in the form of distractions, which can derail us from our greatest aims. To hear more of Peter's wisdom, head on over to inspirationalcreatives.com and look out for episode 269. Thanks again for listening. Drop me an email at rob@inspirationalcreatives and let me know what resonated with you today in today's episode. I'm really hoping that today's wisdom will help you make a subtle yet powerful shift in the way you approach things in your life, so you can really get going on the things that are most important to you and creating a life that you can live to your fullest with meaning and purpose. Join me again soon for another episode of Inspirational Creatives, where I'll be chatting with podcaster and entrepreneur Mark Asquith and growth marketing guru Alison Boyle. Thanks for listening. Nothing beats the stories and advice of an expert to help you raise your creative game. I would love to know what you thought about today's episode, so don't forget to subscribe in iTunes, where you can rate and review the show. If you like this episode, I invite you to share it on Facebook or Twitter with the one person you know who will benefit from the wisdom shared here today. You can find the show notes on inspirationalcreatives.com/podcast. If you have a burning question or a great idea for a guest, head on over to inspirationalcreatives.com/contact, where you can connect with me there.